Okay, this is Block 5, The Roaring Twenties, Part 2, Internal Policy, section entitled Economic Prosperity. After the post-war recession ended around 1922, the American economy took off like it had really never taken off before. The 1920s were defined by economic prosperity for almost all Americans. The exceptions were farmers. Farmers were hurt by increasing production in Europe. And crop prices, which had ballooned during the war, collapsed. So farmers in the 1920s suffered through economic hard times. The coal industry was depressed in the 1920s as oil became a much more important commodity for energy. But for everybody else, the 1920s were marked by year after year of economic prosperity. And lots of that economic prosperity came in the form of consumer goods: cars, refrigerators, radios, bigger houses, more than one car, just the washing machines. The consumer spending in the 1920s went up very quickly. Unemployment went down. Unemployment bottomed out at around 4 or 5%, which is pretty much as low as unemployment gets in an industrial economy. The middle class, even Black Americans, saw their economic fortunes improve during the 1920s. Middle class Americans saw their economic fortunes improve. Working class Americans, for the most part, saw wages go up as employers realized that they should pay their workers enough so they could afford to buy their stuff. People were living materially more comfortable lives in the 1920s than they ever had before in American history. By 1920s, the vast majority of Americans have running water. They have indoor heat. They have indoor plumbing. That you would not feel uncomfortable in a 1920s middle-class house, either with the level of appliances in the house, no microwave, no dryer, so you know to actually cook your food and hang your wash out to dry. But washing machines and ice boxes and refrigerators and cars, all being produced by American industry, all being bought by the American consumer, led to this almost decade-long boom in economic fortunes. President Harding benefited, President Coolidge benefited, and that President Hoover becomes president based on his ability to maintain that level of prosperity. The 1920s were a good time for most Americans economically.